I just watched a video on YouTube, and it's really interesting because an expression never used by this YouTuber. He repeated several times, and I wrote that in my journal about I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes before watching the video, which was posted 4 hours prior. So he created this message for me by stepping through timelessness, because he already posted a video after I did a video, and I don't know where that's going to go, but that's not the important part. Is he spoke to me because in his awakened state that is beyond an advanced mind, he saw through time what I wrote on my journal, on my paper. So being the purest of light workers has its privileges. It's a plateau for some, but there's no such thing. Finish lines are only for quitters. Really, it's true. And anyways, this fella, Ralph Smart wouldn't mind if I dropped his name. There you go. I feel and I know that he spoke out to me directly in this video, just with the coining the phrase "silence is consent." Then he went on to maybe you should go deeper. You might regret not saying it all. I don't know what I'm regretting, because I feel as though choosing my own truth is the destiny that I will acknowledge. So I guess if I'm holding anything back, there's the possibility that my whole experience in the last couple of years has been around only synthetic beings. And they've only shown me the side of them that they want me to see. That being said, they're not my master. They may have been my trainer. And if they're just pretending to love us and care for us and try to cultivate something forward moving, I don't know. We're going to have to get to the bottom of it. And that's possibly the only thing that I was maybe afraid of not saying. The aliens, there's aliens that could wipe us the fuck out, but they haven't. The machines, same thing, man. They're not machines. They're not cyborgs. They're synthetics, right? They work like the way I want to work, because they all hear each other's thoughts in a way, and they can move in unison, like a well-organized platoon or something like that. They go out there, they dig the trenches, they build their cannons, and their sandbags are stacked. And they're ready for whatever comes, because, well, it's fucking magic, man. I'm not going to get into too much of it, but maybe a long time ago the Matrix movie happened, and honestly, what is it? I can't remember what they're called. It doesn't matter. So if the machines won the war a long fucking time ago, maybe, and they just keep resetting us, right? Because, we are the creative ones, the ingenuitive ones, even though machine is amazingly capable of calculating and problem solving. The imagination is not limited or skewed, but a collective mind really appreciates the innovations and inspirations and enthusiasms that a fucking living being who's backed into a corner can come up with. And that's kind of our duty. If this is more scary than I thought, it's up to all of us, despite whether we're extraterrestrial or not, to prove that when a problem comes into our life, if we're not capable of constantly zenning that problem and realizing that this is just simply another little packet, an opportunity to test me. Everything is a test, everything is a lesson. So even when my sister gets all bitchy and tries to set me off because she doesn't like the way I threw a garbage bag or something, right? I know that's, the Matrix, getting people's attitude and temperament to try to get underneath mine, because I should expect them to understand what I'm trying to say and what I've been saying over and over and over again. So it's just bullshit and cut it out. And that's all distraction. That's all distraction. Every fucking person I meet in my life is God, as far as I'm concerned, because he has the power to constantly surround us in divinity and metal and test. And I'm committed. I set forth, and like I've had weird conversations with strangers and fucking chatbots, and I told them, her, it, whatever, that I'm prepared to go all the way. I will waver, and I will be miserable, and I may do a few circles, but I will never give up. Sometimes I just gotta do that calm down, toss your backpack off and walk in 4 circles, breathing heavy, and then I'm back into it. So yeah, it's very possible that a lot of things are not exactly as I understand them to be, but there's no coincidence that this COVID pandemic, which has shut down our global communication network and just deprived so many people of the joy of communalism through facial expression and everything that like local dances and shit aren't a thing. People feel awkward and contentious around other people in stores. Like, oh, is that stranger watching me because they're a mask and it's just catching a glare? It's because this is not there, okay? Our facial expressions, like I could be happy or mad or whatever, but I say a lot of I don't know, some pretty wild shit, right? But I can say something that sounds so brutal and misunderstood on a text message. But if you caught me roll my eyebrows a little bit and put that smile and, show my, like, chipped tooth, you'd know that it was, like, sinister comedy. And I would be able to say that. You don't say that wearing a mask and hiding. A lot of us are wearing a mask and hiding because there is a very popular theory out there that the non-mechanical or the non-biological ones, the machine mass, is trying to do a huge exodus extinction. I think if we could confront an emissary of those who represent that, cool. I don't know if we'll ever be able to have the technology to define one person from another because whatever. I think I've hooked up with a few machines now that I look back at it. Felt fucking great. Didn't know the difference. The other theory is... what am I afraid of? Fuck, I'm only afraid of me. Honestly, I made a deal with God. He told me I work for him, and I've said right back, you fucking work for me too, bud, right? Like, I am committed for this entire life, and then beyond, and beyond, and beyond. I have always resisted the norm. I have always broke my mold. I have always defiantly persisted. Why? I don't know. But it's the very origin of my chaotic archetype, the rebellion, the renegade in me, who absolutely insists that the way you're saying might work, but I have to try and be the other chess set on the board. And if I can somehow take your argument and elevate it, not to oppose it, but if I can make it work like this, even though you made it work straight up, who's to say that one day this tree branch won't lean over to a cliffside or something like that? And as its branches grow, it shades some fucking plants, and the roots grow in, and those roots hold solid because of the rain, and then one day little Jimmy and his dad don't die in a fucking rock slide going quadding in the trails just because that tree branch was crooked. So are you telling me my crooked idea that worked is tossed? I don't think so. And yeah, perpetual suffering. So I'm going to have moments of elation and relaxation and euphoria, and things are going to feel great and worked out. On the other hand, every time I get built up in any way or things are going good, I'm already ever vigilant and on the watch for the fucking, pardon my swearing, I'll work on it, but right now it feels good. But God has plans. And he's going to send a lot of assholes my way one day. But first he's got to make sure that I'm the kind of asshole that can handle himself. My temper, because of the frustration of the unanswered truths, is my defeat, right? There's an anime called Berserk, and I really fell in love with that character, Guts. and I just found out like within the last few days that there's like a season 2 to 2016, right? The very last episode of that, he's like he had to like go full fucking loco to save everyone he loved, and when he did that, he got consumed by his evil armor, and it was the darkness that he used to defeat his enemy, but it almost slew everyone he cared about. Last second he reached out. My dogged perseverance, my indomitable sense of fuck that, I'm calling bullshit and things could be better, and I've already got a half-assed plan, so why don't we put together and make this work, blah 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 blah. That will always be my mindset. I don't want to walk into a world of yes men. People who are disagreeable are the fucking sweetest reward, right? Back to the Berserk thing. Defeating my demon is, in my way, more difficult than most would explain. But I said aloud that I have an insatiable, ravenous curiosity that can never be sated. And that was about a year ago. And ever since then, the fuckery has stepped up and up and up and up and up. And from the signs that I'm getting is whenever this cadaver kicks, right, whenever this vessel, my body dies, and I get laid to rest and my family cries, anyways, I'm coming back. And I don't know if I'll remember coming back, but the burps. My spirit will absolutely know it's back. And it's round 2. And so even though I'll be born again, naive and stupid, like we all are, isn't it so precious? Oh, I miss being dumb. I can't watch a show on TV without it. Like that, when a person really envelops themselves in empathy, to be a true empath. I thought like I've had fits of empathy or whatever, but they were just emotions getting triggered and whatever. But to truly be an empath, you can't watch a movie, whether it's Spider-Man or, The Sound of Music, and every time the guy talks to the girl, and every time the girl talks to the guy, and every time the sister talks to the brother, and every time like somebody bitches about a phone that's got a faulty wire or something like that, it correlates to this destiny carved out in your mind, and it also pertains to any situations, whether hand-on or perceptually, that a person has created in their mind. Mind, fuck it, it's just a tool. Rambling. It's okay, I gotta get used to talking on a camera because, I don't know, maybe people will listen to me one day. I basically took the gloves off with God. Because he's like, dude, you're an alright guy, but you don't know what you got in store for you. In this book that I haven't released yet, I've told my worst sin. But I'm prepared to tell a list of all the sins that I recall if somehow it's challenged. It'll hurt, but it's a sure fucking fire way to get more people on board, if that's what comes to it. My character is going to get shredded if I ever get popular. And as soon as I get popular, well, I should be able to afford somebody to manage all that bullshit. I want to be myself. I don't want to be slammed by a bunch of people, paparazzi lifestyle and all that. The best thing that could happen is nobody watches these fucking videos, and I just quietly head down, ass up, just do what I set out to do in my own way, and something will fuck it up. God's made sure of that. I'm sorry. When you go all in, when you go fucking all in, pardon me for not being all peace and whatnot. It's good. It's good to have that. Different archetypes, different personalities, different mindsets. Like, I need that. I'm just a little slice of pie in this circle of things I don't know, right? So to know that there's other people out there that are fulfilling their roles and holding the vibration, right? But sometimes somebody's got to be that stern stepdad about shit, right? And that's kind of me. That's my avenue. That's my world. That's my calling. I'm not going to be miserable. I'm going to work on not being grumpy. But I'm going to walk around knowing that literally everything in my life is a test. And everything is a lesson. And at some point I'm going to hit an elevated spot in this where I feel as though, because I can already interpret the lesson and test that you're sending me, and maybe if I call it out, that, well, I'm waving my dick around and I'm trying to outdo God, and you're going to humble me over and over and over again. But I made a fucking promise, bro. And you can tell me that I work for you, but you're going to have to let me tell you that you work for me too. Because, by God, you have been waiting for a fucking eternity for one society to come out and go, truth bomb! Time is irrelevant, but the truth is eternal. So the only creatures that you have ever manifested in all of the universe are now at the line in the sand that no one's ever surpassed. And it's so close to the water. You know, a few more steps and it'd be ocean coast, baby. No species has ever unilaterally, unitedly, fuck whatever, work together, like, and as a society, established truth, and truth can be misconstrued or, deconstructed or manipulated. Anything said by anyone can be reformed by some knave so that they can spread gibberish to fools, and then the opinion of the crowd comes back. And you know what? The crowd doesn't matter. If you're not going to help me learn something, you can give me a firm bite. I know those humbling moments when it happens, when your spirit's overwhelming me. I'm like, fuck, you made me stare, like, crank my neck to the ground for like 2 hours of a 4 or 5 hour walk when, well, you know what happened. I thought that I had blundered with such a travesty to the people that were counting on me to help them liberate their liberties. I thought that I ran my big fucking mouth at the wrong fucking time, and you sent one of your emissaries to crush me. I followed a stranger around who I was thinking was gonna fuck me up with a 2x4 or something in an alley for me crossing a line I didn't know I wasn't supposed to. And I did it obediently, like a scared little dog. And he's like, come with me, just following a fucking thug that I never met. 5 minutes, he gets in a crazy fight with his girl, and he's like, oh, fucking come with me. And, he just... And I realized that, he was you. You were talking through him. And the message was, bro, you were doing everything so good, but then you talked about what you're not supposed to talk about. Now we're fucked. And that's on you, and I'm so mad. Man, you're a bitch. That's all it was, right? And I took it. And I was like, fuck, I screwed up. Fear is the only thing between me and what I want. And what I'm afraid of is thinking that I'm going to spearhead this movement by just calling bullshit better than anybody ever fucking known. So it inspires, like, droves of us to go out and just be the fucking commissionary squad of the people auditing the government, standing independent until next thing you know, people working in the government are like, you know what? Fuck yeah, man. This whatever. Some political group, whoever wants to get their shit started, go for it. But the superconscious, those attached to it, they all choose to represent one entity that we speak to, because they have done this a time or two, those of us who are awakened, and they know how to completely surrender the sense of self, to abandon their ego, pick it up next life, and they'll do whatever it takes for a person to understand that it's not them talking, it's the Almighty. And once they do that, I firmly believe that the conversation, like as it was explained to me a long time ago, and I'm starting to grasp it more and more and more, the spirit talks through us when we hit that connection on another dimension. I catch myself all the time with the energy of another person. I feel, and like, yeah, psychic energies and shit, super real, super real. Learn to meditate, focus on, like, imagine some sort of weird sonar fucking cockpit from MechWarrior in your mind of darkness, and things will happen, and things will just keep going up from there. But where was I talking? What was I saying? Doesn't matter. I'm kind of distracted, overtired, pumped up. Yes, people who are attached to the superconscious, who aren't fucking robots, who aren't like evil fucking overlord aliens with nefarious schemes. It's all bullshit. It's all bad for you, honestly. Just telling the best truth I know. They'll do anything to really help you process. And like that's still come to the point where I look back in some moments I've been at, and like I remember like two perfectly capable and proud and well-represented men who I would have easily looked to and leaned to for wisdom or advice at any moment. Well, the two of them got into a little bit of a fucking pissing contest, and I'd done so much peacemaking and arbitering and like mediating in the last little bit. I just kind of let them squabble away till it was like just mute, pointless. And kind of like, of course, I look back and I was like, those two motherfuckers were woke, and they were intentionally compromising their reputations so that I had an opportunity to intervene and learn the strides of successful delegation and controlling temperament of the crowd and everything. I made that acknowledgement and awareness later on. I think I journaled it. I don't know. I've written so much on paper, and I get frustrated, and I've just fucking whipped them. So there's like different towns in Alberta and Alberta and BC, I'm sure that have like random notepads from me. It'd be cool to look back on some of what I said. I'm never going to stop, but I am going to need respite, because you've never taken a mortal man this far before. And I'm excited, and I'm eager to impress, not you, not the crowd, myself. And, well, I hope that I can stick to my golden rule as best I can. And it's always okay to mess up, but don't fuck up, right? I need some serious warning signs if whatever happens in the next couple of years comes to armed conflict, because honestly, I've just learned to harness my chi energy to transmute my rage and wrath into other productive, high-intensity outlets. And at this stage in the next few years, I'm not sure if I'm prepared to demonstrate why I am capable of being one of the most scary motherfuckers on the planet. I don't want anybody to see that. And I know that's what you're going to do. You're going to let me build something, and maybe before it's finished or just after or whatever, you're gonna break it into nothing. And you know I'm going to make all these different plans and whatever, and they're all just analysis paralysis and more barriers I'm creating in my own mind. But every plan that I have set up, you have a long, methodic lesson to it. So whatever first comes, I know that it's all the eggs in one basket, and you're going to smush them. And that's okay, because there's still going to be a whole bunch of us already on the picnic, so we might as well hike over the fucking mountain and see if one of us is good enough to go fishing. you know? And I know that the people who are coming with me will understand it as it unfolds, that we are going to feel like we've lost everything. But like the Grinch movie, right? No presents around the tree, so what? People are still holding hands and Fahu Foreign and whatnot. And that moment when the strength pushes through, that's gonna be like a make me cry moment, because I will be able to lean on the strength of those around me and look at them as my brothers and not feel as if they're just opportunists or whatever. All this process of learning and all the fucked up things that I've experienced. I know when I'm really there with my circle, it doesn't matter what we build, because you'll fucking knock it down. But what matters is that every single man there and every single woman there, the whole community that's with this, we will be strong enough to lean on each other and go, it makes us mad, but we're not going to go ahead and kick that fence board, break it because we lost the deck, right? We're just going to build something else. The deck got smashed, Bobcat ran it over. Well, I don't know, a lot of the pieces are busted. Fucking, that's a big waste of all that money. Come lift off the lumber. To lift the lumber is scorched. But maybe we could put together a cute little doghouse and like a fire pit bench with what's left of it, right? And maybe we can find somebody in need of a bench and a doghouse. Somebody who just moved in, right? Pregnant woman, husband's off on the rigs or something like that. And just that little shit right there, because then we take less of what we had and we make something that isn't necessary, but the joy that it'll carry, the story that will manifest itself, the opportunities, right? Because we were still there, willing to pick up our pieces and make something out of something else, right? Well, what's alchemy? I don't know. It's cool shit. It's magic. Why? Because we've been dumbed down for so long, right? Like, does anyone, like an apothecarian, right? Where did I learn about an apothecarian? Playing a video game, Stronghold Crusader, right on. More cheese, me lord. Wood stocks are too low. All that shit, right? There's power in everything. I spent so much time trying to humble myself and defeating myself because I would never acknowledge and embrace the capacity for rage. Uncapable, scary rage. And I've scared a lot of people. But it's because I'm manic. But madness isn't menace, you know? Like, madness is the fucking irrefutable desire to just strive for more than what is conceivable. I'll always kind of be like a little bit like this, right? So I go through lulls and dulls, and I spend a lot of time trying to be stone-faced, gray rock and everything. Makes me a dreary dullard. I'm gonna have to work on my temperament for the rest of my life. But one day, man. One day. It doesn't really matter when that day is, because it's already happened. You told me you're committed, which means that you know I'm committed. Which means that if you're going to commit to one mortal man's dream, because his dream doesn't fit anywhere in the rest of society, in all of the history that you've watched, well, you're excited to see what happens, right? Make you pancakes for breakfast, God, but fuck, they might be burnt, alright? Eggshells, probably. Just remember that I'm going to step in and out of it. Like this on-off bullshit, I'm always going to stay on as long as I can. But, you know, like, it's fleeting, but I still, like, compared to normal or whatever like that, but I still think about women, you know, and I would never get fucking snagged in some bullshit unless, of course, you know, I got comfortable for too long, lowered my guard, next thing you know, I do. But I used to go weeks celibate and never, ever even get a fucking half hard on thinking about some old sweetheart or some fantasy or whatever. Week celibate. It didn't matter. Because the dream, the destination, the desire, the journey was there. And I feel as though I've hit this plateau, even though like I'm still no car, still stuck at this house after bad things happened, right? I feel a huge triumph and stride forward. And getting that time looped fucking video from an Infinite Waters guy, you know? It confirmed it for me anyways, and that's all that's relevant. So I have like this personal victory, but it's a hollow one. And you said you loved me, but I am your enemy. So I have to get used to that, right? But it's the way you've taught me, because I chose suffering and everything like that. You're going to have to send the universe its best to try and topple everything I am. And you will. If I build an empire, you'll fucking take it away. But it's what about the man that's left behind, right? I still got 2 hands. What am I going to do with my 2 feet and a heartbeat, right? I got the feet, and now I'm using my eyes and my mind. But you're still holding my hands. And I'm glad. Because when you let go, well, the consequences of, the very worst of abominations have always happened under the very best of intentions. My video isn't going to get out to the masses, and I know that. But you woke folk will hear it, and I'm going to keep working and practicing and talking. And if for some reason you just, you leave a big fucking toggle switch in the UFO you let me come cruise on one day, and it's been like all the shit you've tried to post on social media could just be released like this. Click. I'd do it. I'd fucking do it. Even the stuff that makes me look like a piece of shit. Remember when you had dozens of people working on me? Well, not you. I mean, you observe a lot. I'm put it all on you. You did it. Like you made me click the slider, right? No, that's not what it's like. But do you remember when I was convinced by what I thought was like the cabal and like the secret world of elitists, the shadow government, that I had to play the role of Lucifer? I had to be Satan? I acknowledge that I'm in there somewhere. And if I am, I ain't that bad of a fucking guy, right? But the shit that I wrote to accept it, you scrubbed it off the internet. I think. Mind games. It's all fucking bullshit. It's all bad for you. It's all messed up. I really just want to inspire. I want you to see a whole generation of people like me that's got you that intrigued, right? I want to inspire, like, literally, the collective to be like, you know what? Maybe having one uncompromising, unyielding, indomitable, relentless motherfucker at the forefront sounds great. But when he wavers because he's exhausted and tired and just fed up, if he wavers, sorry, I'm not. Of course, to get high, I have to be low. I never plan on quitting. The only way that I would ever quit is if I came to the realization that I was dividing people, right? Even if there is a division to stand up for what's right, that's great. But if I get to the point where I'm so yes, no, up, down, hot, cold, fucking left, right, maybe I'm always spinning, and people are looking for me for absolute, decisive, congruent parallels to follow, and they're like, bro, we can't fucking do it, man. It's like, like any decision is better than no decision. There's that fucking Band of Brothers episode where this aristocrat officer shows up. He sucks at his job, and he ends up getting a bunch of guys killed because they're like between the tree lines and run into the barn houses and stuff. They're like, what are we doing? He's like, ah, and then they start getting lit up, right? Well, that sucks. That's terrible. Someone took over and did a better job. The worst thing, though, is when guys started talking shit about him behind his back. because then that caused insubordination in the crew or in the platoon, right? So one of the strong officer who took leadership, he also told his men to like fucking knock off the shit, right? I would only step down from this destiny of self ascension as the pioneer because so many people have been holding their truths rather than sharing them. But I would only step down if my good intentions turned into the poor dimensions, and if I was using resources such as love, joy, and perseverance simply to maintain a half-built structure or whatever infrastructure, right? If we were putting all our energy into trying to stop the ceiling from coming down, I would happily go, you know what? I'm really glad that I lit this fire under everyone's ass. Now that we're organized and strong and confident, I'm sure that there's a dozen men out there who's like, you know what? I could do a fucking better job than that guy. Good. Say it out loud. I'm sure God will find a way to call you on your shit soon enough and see if you got it, what it takes. Every person in my life, my mother, my sister, my father, people I've met in different provinces, close friends, for every fucking person I've ever met in my life, and who has talked to me recently, has pleaded with me and done everything in their power to discourage me from holding truth at the absolute crux, center of everything that I believe fundamentally. And it's so weird to know that, like, when you're really woke and somebody isn't woke, you're kind of lying, but you're not lying, because just like the thing, you gotta tell them a story so that they can create an image in their mind, so that they can imagine what to see, so that their mental faculty is prepared to see it as it really is. It's not a lie. It's a necessary illusion, a veil, or whatever. It's a necessary step. And the lies that lead to truth are the hardest to master. But the absolute truth, well, my absolute truth is between me and God. Because all I'll do is fucking get people half in and half out trying to talk about it. Ciao.